We have in Pat Fallon, a Texas congressman, and Rich McCormack, a Georgia congressman. Gentlemen, welcome in. Congressman Fallon, can you tell us about this back and forth between your colleagues we're seeing?
Well, Christine, I'll tell you that it's not constructive to have another call on the chair. It was very difficult, and it was difficult enough in October. All that would cause now is conservative chaos in the chamber, and it would really score points for the Democrats. And I vowed when I came here that I wasn't going to do the bidding of the mainstream media, and I wasn't going to do the bidding of Democrats. I want to advance conservative legislation. So Mike is our speaker. I think given the circumstances over the last 6 months, he's done a very good job. And let's give him some runway to fight for more conservative wins for the rest of this year.
Congressman McCormick, your thoughts as well on this one, too. As you already know, the Democrats have already, again, met with Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and said, if this comes forward, even we will take care of this, step up, keep Speaker Johnson, again, in his place. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Congresswoman from Georgia, obviously knows that, still gives the list of demands to move forward. There are several, obviously, on this list, again, as you see here, the big one being no future funding for Ukraine. Not speaking for Speaker Johnson, but based on previous actions, there's a lot of doubt that he's going to meet all four of these, and if she does indeed move forward. Would you agree with that? Would you have a message for the Congresswoman?
It's not realistic that one person gets to set and dictate what everybody has to vote on. We have 435 members. The speaker has to do what he thinks is best, and it shouldn't be held hostage by one member or even two members. She continues to be on an island. She's disruptive. She thinks that her way or the highway, it's a populist movement. It's not a conservative movement. It's not good for the party. As a matter of fact, if you think about it in sporting terms, I've been playing sports all my life. You're in the Super Bowl. You just replaced your seasoned quarterback with a rookie quarterback, and you're trying to move down the field and get scores, and you have one of the members of the team trying to tackle your quarterback. That's what's happening. Somebody who's disrupting everything we're trying to get done. That's not serious legislation. That's disruptive to everything we're trying to achieve, which, of course, the most important part is winning the future election so we can get back to Senate, get the presidency back, and actually get some work done.
So what about Israel? Well, how do people feel, Senator Fallon or Congressman Fallon, that a senior Biden administration official says that the U.S. has paused a shipment of bombs to Israel to signal the opposition to the Rafah invasion? Are we not supporting Israel anymore?
I mean, Christine, you have to ask yourself, are we a rule of law nation? Because Congress passed legislation and that mandates funding for Israel forthwith, and the president can't just rule by decree and just say, no, I'm not going to do that. He signed the legislation into law. So how about we follow the law and give Israel the supplies that they need? I mean, it's rather clear cut, but we've seen this many times from this administration. And when we see it, we have to call it out for what it is and, force the issue.
And Congressman McCormick, the pause on the shipments of bombs to Israel from the U.S. has been confirmed. Moving past the munitions not being sent to Israel, again, with their war against Hamas, in terms of the messaging, what message does that send to these proxy groups, to Hamas, to Hezbollah, to, again, even Iran, who's been accused of funding these proxy groups? You see the United States, the biggest ally of Israel here, pausing shipments of bombs to Israel during a war. Does that send a poor message to Iran and others?
It says to everybody that if your propaganda is good enough, if you can convince people when you use human shields, innocent lives, to defend your cause, the United States will back down, that we won't do the right thing, that we won't support our allies. We know for a fact that Iran continues to fund Hamas and other terrorist groups around the world. Nobody's doing anything about that. You see the administration has basically backed down on everything that Iran has done against us, has helped them fund their cause of terror against us, and yet they won't stand with our allies, somebody who stood with us all along, the one stabilizing factor in that region. That's ridiculous. That's bad foreign policy. I make the case that Biden has the worst foreign policy of all time, of all presidents in the United States.
A lot of concern there. Congressman Pat Fallon and also Congressman Rich McCormack joining us live. We do appreciate that. Thank you both.
Thanks.